Level 1, the Blue Lantern. You're 16. You dropped out of school in Sham Shui Po, one of the most crowded neighborhoods in Hong Kong. Your dad drives a minibus 14 hours a day. Your mom works in a garment factory. There's no path forward, and you know it. A guy from the neighborhood starts paying attention to you. Everyone calls him Dai Lo, Big Brother. He buys you dinner, gives you a phone, asks small favors. Watch this corner. Tell me if anyone from Wo On Lok shows up. Stand outside this mahjong parlor and let me know if police come. You're not a member. You're what they call a Blue Lantern, uninitiated. You don't even have a number. See, in the Triads, every rank has a number, and every number has meaning. They're rooted in Chinese numerology, combinations that multiply back to sacred digits. 49 is a soldier. 4 times 9 is 36, the number of oaths you swear when you join. 426 is the red pole, the enforcer. 4 plus 2 plus 6 equals 12. Multiply the digits. 1 times 2, you get 2, the deputy. 489 is the dragon head, the boss. 4 plus 8 plus 9 is 21. 2 times 1 is 2 again, but 489 also multiplies to 288, which connects to ancient Triad founding mythology. These aren't random. They've been coded into the organization for over 300 years. You're nothing. You're zero. But you're learning. Dai Lo wears a gold chain and drives a Mercedes through streets where everyone else takes the MTR. He tips restaurant owners in cash. They bow to him. Nobody bows to your father. One night, you're told to keep watch outside a karaoke bar in Mong Kok while something happens inside. You hear glass breaking, shouting. A man stumbles out with blood on his shirt. Nobody calls the police. The police don't come to this block unless they're invited. You get 2,000 Hong Kong dollars a week, cash in an envelope. That's more than your dad makes driving that minibus. You buy new sneakers, buy dinner for your younger brother. You tell your mom you got a job at a restaurant. She's so proud she cooks your favorite meal. She doesn't ask questions. She doesn't want to. One afternoon, you fall asleep on your shift. Dai Lo finds you. He doesn't yell. He puts his hand on your shoulder and says, very quietly, if the wrong people had come while you were sleeping, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You don't fall asleep again. Level 2, the 49. You're 18. You've proven yourself. Now they want you inside. The initiation isn't a handshake. It's a ceremony that hasn't changed in 300 years. You're brought to a back room, maybe a warehouse, maybe a shed in the new territories. There's an altar dedicated to Guan Yu, the god of loyalty. Incense is burning. There's a rooster. You walk under an arch of crossed swords. You wear white robes and straw sandals. The incense master recites ancient poems about the 5 ancestors, monks who survived a massacre and founded the first secret society. Then you swear 36 oaths. Every one ends with a punishment. If I betray my brothers, I will die by 5 thunderbolts. If I reveal our secrets, I will be killed by myriads of swords. You mean every word, because you've seen what happens to people who don't. They cut the rooster's head off. Its blood drips into a bowl of wine and cinnabar. You prick your finger, add your own blood. You drink. You're a 49 now, a soldier. Your Dai Lo is your sworn brother. His enemies are your enemies. His debts are your debts. Your first real job? Debt collection in the wet markets. Shop owners who borrowed money at impossible interest rates. You show up with 2 other 49s. Most people pay. The ones who don't? You don't use guns. Guns are rare in Hong Kong. The weapon of choice is the meat cleaver, the chopper. Every kitchen has one. They're cheap, legal to buy, and they send a message a bullet never could. 1 slash across the back. Not deep enough to kill, deep enough that he never forgets. You make 8,000 Hong Kong dollars a month, plus bonuses from collections. You buy your first real watch. Not a Rolex, not yet, but it's real. You wire money home. Your mom thinks the restaurant promoted you. In a way, it did. But the oaths don't leave your head, especially the last one. If I am arrested, I will accept my punishment and not implicate my brothers. You recite it to yourself on the MTR like a prayer, because you know that one day, it won't be hypothetical. Level 3, the street boss. You're 22, never been arrested. The organization notices. You're given a territory, a strip of Mongkok, the neon-lit blocks where massage parlors, karaoke bars, and nightclubs run 24 hours a day. Every business on those blocks pays a monthly protection fee. They call it T-money. A noodle shop pays 3,000 Hong Kong dollars. A nightclub pays 30,000 Hong Kong dollars. A one-woman apartment brothel pays 5,000 Hong Kong dollars. You don't ask. They don't argue. The arrangement is older than anyone alive. You also run the gambling, illegal mahjong parlors and back rooms. You control 3 minibus routes, the red ones that run at night. Drivers pay you 10,000 Hong Kong dollars a month each, just for the right to operate. In return, you keep other drivers off their route. It's a franchise. You're the franchisor. You manage 15 guys. You teach them the rules. Never use phones for business. Never talk to outsiders. And if you get arrested, say nothing. Lawyers appear. Bail gets posted. The system works, as long as you keep your mouth shut. 80,000 Hong Kong dollars a month. You eat at restaurants where the owner seats you personally and never brings a bill. You have a girlfriend who thinks you're in the import-export business. Every Triad member says they're in import-export. It's the oldest joke in Hong Kong. But you're exposed. A rival 14K crew wants your blocks. One night, 2 guys on a motorcycle roll up behind one of your collectors. They slash him across the back with a cleaver and disappear into traffic. He survives, barely. You respond, quietly. A 14K associate gets followed home from a nightclub in Tsim Sha Tsui. 2 of your guys are waiting on a motorcycle. The chopper comes out. 3 slashes, arms and back. Not the face. The face means you want war. The arms mean you want respect. He wakes up in the hospital. No one files a police report. No one ever does. You get home that night. Your girlfriend's asleep. You pour a whiskey and sit in the dark. You realize you didn't feel anything when they told you it was done. That scares you more than the 14 karat ever could. Level 4, the red pole, 426. You're 26. You've been promoted to 426. Red pole, the enforcer, the military commander. You manage all security for your branch. Territory disputes? You plan the response. Business owner refuses to pay? You authorize the consequences. Someone inside the organization is suspected of being a 25. That's the code for an informant. You handle the investigation. And if the investigation confirms it, you handle the result. You're also moving product now. Ketamine, the drug of choice in Hong Kong's club scene. Comes from mainland China or Southeast Asia. You don't touch it yourself, but you manage the pipeline. From a warehouse in the New Territories to dealers in the Tsim Sha Tsui nightclubs. White powder packed in tea boxes, in restaurant deliveries, in the trunk of a taxi driven by a man who owes you money. 200,000 Hong Kong dollars a month, a BMW, a flat in Kowloon Tong, a lawyer on retainer, 50,000 Hong Kong dollars a month, whether you need him or not. The real problem is the people below you. Young 49s who get high on their own ketamine, who post photos on social media with gold chains and cash. Every one of them is a liability. Sometimes a beating is enough. Sometimes you take everything they own and send them back to zero. One of your soldiers starts spending beyond his means. New car, new apartment, no explanation. You have someone check his phone records. He's been calling a number linked to the OCTB, the Organized Crime and Triad Bureau, Hong Kong's dedicated anti-triad police unit. You bring him to a warehouse. You don't ask questions, because informants always lie. You just make sure the next person who thinks about talking remembers what happened to the last one. And above you, the bosses want more, always more. They don't care about your problems. They care about the envelope. Level 5, the white paper fan, 415. You're 30. You put away the cleaver, you pick up a calculator. You're a 415 now. The white paper fan, the advisor, the money brain. Your job? Turning dirty cash clean. at a scale that makes street-level money look like pocket change. You open businesses, bubble tea shops, a construction company, a car wash, a real estate firm. All legitimate on paper, all running cash through registers that was never earned selling tea or washing cars. You buy entire floors of apartment buildings in the new territories, suitcases of cash, then sell them through proper channels. Clean. You set up shell companies in Hong Kong, Macau, and the mainland. Money flows through 3 jurisdictions. By the time it arrives, it's spotless. You launder through casinos in Macau, walk in with dirty cash, buy chips, play a few hands, cash out with a check. Easy. You also handle politics. The Triad has always had relationships with power. In 1997, the Chinese government's own representatives met with Triad leaders to ensure stability during the Hong Kong handover. That relationship didn't end. It evolved. You attend dinners with low-level officials, donate to the right causes, make introductions. Nothing is said directly. Everything is understood. In 2012, a Triad dragonhead was photographed at a dinner with aides to a candidate running for chief executive of Hong Kong. It made the papers for a week. Then everyone forgot. That's how it works. 500,000 Hong Kong dollars a month. Property in 3 cities. Your kids go to international school. You attend charity galas. Nobody at the golf club knows what you really are. But the people above the law are the most dangerous of all. A politician who takes your money this year might sacrifice you next year. You're useful, exactly as long as you're invisible. Level 6, the Dragonhead. You're the Dragonhead, the boss. Your operation generates hundreds of millions a year, sells in Hong Kong, Macau, mainland China, Southeast Asia, Australia, Canada, and Europe. Thousands of members, politicians, judges, and police commanders who take your calls. But you're a ghost. The most powerful Triad leaders in history are men nobody has ever heard of. They don't give interviews. They don't appear in photos. They run noodle shops and small businesses by day. They dress modestly. This is the fundamental difference between the Triads and the cartels. The Triads worship secrecy. A dragonhead who draws attention gets replaced. You negotiate with other dragonheads, divide territory, form alliances. When the super syndicate Sam Gore was built, 5 rival Triads came together under one roof. Former enemies united to manufacture methamphetamine on an industrial scale in the jungles of Myanmar. They earned an estimated $8 to $17 billion a year, controlled up to 70% of the meth supply in the entire Asia-Pacific. You have everything. Properties across countries, bank accounts you'll never touch, cars you'll never drive, and no freedom. You can't eat at a restaurant without someone checking it first. You've had plastic surgery, so photos from 10 years ago don't match your face anymore. Your own children don't fully understand what you do. You haven't used your real name in 5 years. You change phones every week. You meet your deputy in a private room at a seafood restaurant in Aberdeen, and even there, you check for recording devices before you sit down. You trust him, mostly. You trusted the last deputy too, before you found out he was skimming. Interpol has a red notice. The Australian Federal Police, the DEA, agencies across Asia. They're all building a case. You know this because you pay people inside those agencies. But information only buys time. It doesn't buy safety. Your daughter asks why you never come to her school. You don't have an answer. Level 7. The Fall. They got you. Maybe it was a raid, maybe a wiretap, maybe it was one of your own, a 25, an informant who decided that witness protection was better than looking over his shoulder forever. Che Chi Lop ran the biggest drug syndicate in Asia's history. 5 triads under one roof, billions in revenue, labs hidden in the jungles of Myanmar, distribution across the entire Pacific. For years, the public didn't even know his name. He dressed modestly. He was calm, strategic, invisible. When the FBI first arrested him, back in 1998, the agent who interrogated him said he didn't act like a drug lord, didn't boast, didn't panic, just sat there and said nothing useful. He served 9 years, got out, built something bigger. Sam Gore, The Company. 5 rival triads that stopped killing each other and started manufacturing meth on an industrial scale. They flooded Asia with cheap product. $8 to $17 billion a year. Up to 70% of the meth supply across the entire Asia-Pacific. Then, in January 2021, Dutch police arrested him at Amsterdam's Schiphol airport during a layover on his way back to Canada. Extradited to Australia, charged with conspiracy to traffic commercial quantities of controlled drugs. He faces life in prison. The cell is quiet. The empire is gone. The money is frozen. The brothers you swore oaths with, Blood, Wine, and Cinnabar, they've already chosen your replacement. You had a kingdom. Now you have a concrete room, and the rest of your life to think about how you got here. Level 8, the Successor. But the Triad doesn't die with you. It's been running for 300 years, longer. It survived the fall of the Qing dynasty, survived Mao's purges, survived the British handover, survived every crackdown, every task force, every international operation ever launched against it. Your nephew takes over, or your lieutenant, or someone you've never heard of, who's been waiting for exactly this moment. The drugs keep flowing out of Myanmar. The money keeps washing through the casinos in Macau. The tea money keeps arriving at the noodle shops in Mongkok. The oaths keep being sworn. The rooster keeps bleeding into the bowl. And somewhere in Sham Shui Po, there's a kid sitting outside a mahjong parlor, watching the street, holding a phone that isn't his. A man in a gold chain just bought him dinner. He's waiting. He doesn't know it yet, but he's already inside. This is the Triad. Not a gang, a society. A 300-year-old empire built on blood, silence, and oaths that follow you to the grave. And it's still running.